I was obsessed with HGTV, House Hunters, Property Brothers.
Mentorship is a two-way street.
I started in real estate at 18 years old. If you really want to do well for yourself, you should go and get into commercial real estate. When you're looking for somebody to be a mentor first, it's like, are they where I want to be in 20 years, in 30 years, in 40 years? Are they doing the things that I want to do?
It's a very competitive market, right?
Very competitive.
Welcome to Courage, Comebacks, and Conversations. I'm Susan Lee, business leader, life and career coach, storyteller, wife, and mother. We're bringing you real stories. From athletes chasing their dream to entrepreneurs who left corporate America to start their own business, professionals rebuilding after setbacks, from women breaking barriers in male-dominated fields, and to first in their families who graduate from college. Every story reminds us that courage connects us, and who doesn't like to hear a comeback story? I'm glad you're here. Let's get into it.
Welcome to Courage, Comebacks, and Conversations, where we talk about the power of growth, grit, and the people who guide us along the way. Today's episode is called, and I'm really excited about this, The Playbook, Building People Who Build You. My guest is Brandon Hamm, a young professional making waves in the DC commercial real estate market. But what makes his story powerful isn't just about his success. It's the mentors behind the scenes. We're diving into what it makes to create your personal board of directors, those people who challenge, teach, and believe in you when everything gets tough. Hey, Brandon.
Hey, Susan. Thank you for having me today. I'm very glad to be speaking with you.
Thank you for joining me. The first question I have for you is, talk to me about what an actual board of directors is as it relates to mentorship.
Right. So, a lot of people, they likely have their personal board of directors without even knowing it. And I think that was the case for me. When I look at my personal board of directors, I think of the people who are helping me make decisions that are important in my life, whether it's work, whether it's personal, whether it's just your own fitness goals or work goals, whatever it may be, relationship goals. So, when I think of the people that are on my board of directors, I think of, my uncles, I think of, my father and my dad's friends. And then I think of the people who have come into my life, as of recent, my partners in business and mentors in my company, mentors outside of my company that I met through networking events, all people that I know that I can kind of lean on whenever I have a question. Like, what is it should I be doing? Like, where should I be focusing? I know that I can go to them with anything that I really need. And they continue to keep an eye on me and make sure that I'm going down the right track. And so I think, we'll get into it later about the qualities of people on the personal board of directors, but it's somebody who can be there for them and somebody that you can be there for at the same time. So
I want to focus on your professional mentors right now. Who are they and how have they helped you?
The first three names that come to mind are Dimitri Kuchevelis, Rick Rohn, and then Ernie Jarvis. Those are three people in Savills that just continue to uplift me and get my name out there. And I know I can always go to them with all kinds of questions. I mean, me and Dimitri, me and Rick, we talk more about personal life sometimes than we do about business. And so I think that has really helped elevate our relationship, not only personally, but, work-wise. So I really lean on them for all things, not just business. And they continue to get my name out there through the company. They see the hard work that I'm doing. They push it out into the LinkedIn and to social networks. And so I just feel super blessed to be surrounded by them. And just super blessed to be able to, go to them with anything and to just learn about their careers. I mean, all three of these professionals that I just mentioned started very early on at the age of 18 in real estate in some form. And so they're in a kind of a similar position to me when I started in real estate at 18 years old, doing residential and then shifting into the commercial side after college. And me and Rick this morning were just talking about how he was similar. He started in residential and then he started selling shopping centers. And now, he's the vice chairman of Savills. So it's following in these people's footsteps and like seeing that I'm kind of going in the same trajectory that they're going towards. It's, like I said, just it's such a blessing to be where I am and to be able to lean on them, for my career and for my personal life.
When we spoke before, you mentioned that you had a passion, even in high school, for real estate. Talk to me about the journey from that interest in high school to college to where you are today.
Mm-hmm. So yeah, right when I was in high school, actually, I was obsessed with HGTV, House Hunters, Property Brothers, all those TV shows about real estate and selling and buying homes. So I kind of knew that that's what I wanted to do for a career. And when I was 18, I just went for it. I got my real estate license and I started practicing real estate with some of the guys that I went to college with. And they left the real estate industry a couple years in, and I still was determined to do this because real estate's all I really ever knew. So it was my uncle who actually told me to make the switch to the commercial side. And he's an entrepreneur, and I saw just the kind of lifestyle that he was living. He was a hard worker, but he also got to travel a lot. And so I really took advice from him because he also works in sales. And he was like, if you really want to do well for yourself, you should go and get into commercial real estate. So I took his advice, and that's exactly what I did.
So the three mentors you have at Savills are partners? Do you guys work as a team? Tell me how that works.
Right. So me and Dimitri and Rick, we worked on a team, and I was recruited to Savills through the Junior Broker Development Program. So I went through this 18-month program where I got to work with multiple teams, work through multiple service lines, and just get a feel for, where was my place in this company, and, how can I be the most effective that I can be with a good base. So after the program, I was recruited and decided to join Rick's and Dimitri's team because we all just worked really well together when we saw that. So now we work on everything together. And then we've brought Ernie in on different opportunities, where we thought he might be a good fit. And so we all have a really great working relationship. And while I'm not working directly with Ernie, I'm always looking to bring him opportunities for us to work together because I like these people as people. I'm just like, we're not just, of course, we're here to make money, but like I genuinely like working with these people. And I think that's so special about, what we've created so far.
Well, when you mention Ernie Jarvis, he's legendary in the commercial real estate market in Washington, D.C. Let's talk a little bit about what do you think makes a good mentor? Give me three things that you think make a good mentor.
Right. So I think when you're looking for somebody to be a mentor first, it's like, are they where I want to be in 20 years, in 30 years, in 40 years? Are they doing the things that I want to do? Because finding a mentor is somebody that you kind of want to model yourself after because you're taking all their advice, you're taking all their guidance. So you want that person to be like who you want to be in the next 30, 40, or however many years, but you're going to become your own version of who that person is. And touching on those, the qualities of a mentor, I just think it's, somebody who's where you want to be, somebody who is happy, and then somebody who's willing to critique you based on the experiences that they've had in their careers.
Now, that's interesting. You just brought up something that I was going to ask you next, and that is, how do you check your ego to receive feedback so that you can grow?
Mm-hmm. I think, it really depends on the person, but I've always known that I can be better. Whatever it is, I know that I can be better. I also know that there's people who are much better than me at what I'm trying to do. And I take that as, I can learn from this person. It's not that we're competing. It's, I can learn from this person. I can always be so much better. And that just like continues to humble me. And then even these senior guys will humble me when we're out and we're talking real estate. And I was maybe wrong on something and they were right. It's because they've had years and years of experience. And so sometimes I know that I have a lot to learn, and that seems to always keep me humble.
Another question I would ask you, what can you teach your mentors?
I mean, listen, there's tons of things that younger people bring to the table, whether it's technology, whether it's social media, whether it's a different way about thinking of things. I seem to help my senior partners in various ways on the technology side of things, on maybe understanding communication types between some of our younger prospects and clients. Business development has kind of changed over the years. And while cold calling is still very active, there's tons of ways to get into contact with people and to follow up with people. And so, my seniors were very surprised when I said, oh yeah, I text message my prospects, or I don't just sit there and phone call. I reach out, or I write letters, or I do all these different things. And I think real estate it's changed so much over the years. And so young people who really have a good understanding of the game, really know how to help these, older people. And I'm not calling my partners old, but more senior guys, I should say.
You can say old. You can say old. They're old. I'm old. We're all old. But you make a good point that mentorship is a two-way street. And I really believe in that. That's one of the things that I talk a lot about, is that we can learn from you. Senior leadership, executive leadership can learn from you just as you learn from them. How does that mentorship play into your teammates that are your age? I've seen you with a couple of people that you work with. How does that mentorship work in relationship to them? Are you able to pass on words of wisdom to them that you've learned from your mentors?
Certainly. So you're talking about my younger partner, May Schwab, who I should have mentioned, did not mention, but May, she's been fantastic so far. And I'm able to take all the things that I've learned in my 4 years so far and kind of pass them down to her. Our senior partners can be pretty busy with some of the bigger projects that they're working on. And so they rely on me to share like some of the smaller nuances of brokerage with May. And, they've taught me so much, and now it's up to me to, pass it on to the younger people. And I think not only for May, but like for all younger people, I love to just help them figure out where they want to be or what they want to do for career. And I think like paying it forward, sorry if I'm jumping the gun a little bit, but like paying it forward is super important when you're a mentee, because you want to be a mentor in the future and you want to be able to pass things along. And so I hope that May has learned tons of things from me that she can one day pass on to somebody.
So you also mentioned mentorship in your personal life. Talk to me about, you mentioned your uncle a lot. Talk to me about what influence people have had in your personal life and what that means to you.
Mm-hmm. Like I said, I like my mentors to be a model of who I want to be in the next 10 or 20 years. And my uncle is exactly that. And, my father and his two brothers, my two uncles, they all exemplify what I want to be like. They're all great fathers. They're all great. They have great relationships, and they're super hard workers. So just taking guidance and asking them questions and staying close. My uncle, he lives in Portland, Oregon, and he just moved to Vancouver, Washington. He's lived there for all his life. But we always love to talk about, golf, business, and just life, relationships. So I know that I can go to him and lean on him for any needs that I have. And it's a blessing. It truly is.
As you build your own success, how do you choose who to keep in your circle and who not to?
It's not an easy question. How do I choose who? I think there's levels of circles, right? I've created so many relationships throughout my life, from elementary school and to now, and I know that I'm going to continue to keep making great relationships. So, the inner circle, it's really those people that I want to strive to be like. It's always about surrounding yourself with people who are better than you. So that's what I'm looking for. Maybe not like what's in my circle, but what am I looking to add to my circle? I'm looking to add people who are better than me, people who are doing things that like where I want to be in 10, 20 years. Guys who are, driving cool cars or working on super cool projects or meeting with, politicians and diplomats. That's where I want to be. I just keep elevating. That's really what the goal is.
So in the commercial real estate arena, you are dealing with CEOs, executives. You mentioned golf. What are the things that you do to connect with senior executives in other companies in order to close one of those deals?
Mm-hmm. Well, these executives and companies, they're winning a lot of awards, right? So the Washington Business Journal, they have all these awards events, all these networking events where you can just get out and meet people, congratulate them, learn about their work. And so you pick up information, and it's like, this company just raised their Series A funding. So I'm going to go and I'm going to go to this event, and I'm going to go meet the CEO of this company. And we're going to talk about the money that he just raised and talk about how he's using it. Like I said, business development has changed. And so it's not as simple as, oh, let me make all these phone calls and I'll get business. For me, it's no, let's go make personal connections. Look, let's go out, let's meet people. Let's learn about what do they need? Where's their business at? And just stay in the loop, just stay like following up with them. And when the time is right, they're going to think of me or you as that person who they're going to go to when they have a need. So it's going out, learning about problems and finding solutions.
I like that. Going out, learning about problems and finding solutions. You just mentioned going to a networking event and connecting with the CEO. Are you nervous when you do that? Like, what do you say to yourself as you're walking up to a CEO of an organization and want to give him your, elevator pitch?
Well, there was this saying that I learned very early on in my career. It's salespeople who don't bother don't feed their children. And, I took that very seriously. So, yeah, it can be a little nerve wracking, but at the end of the day, everybody's human. Everybody bleeds red. Everybody uses the bathroom. Everybody is human. So, as big of a deal as some of these folks might seem, they do all the same things as you. Maybe they have a high title, but it really doesn't mean much. They have the same issues. Maybe they have their expenses are too high, or they don't know what to do with their money, or maybe their daughter just got sick at school that day. Everybody has, common people issues. So just connect with them on a regular level and don't make it seem like too big of a deal.
So you basically, everybody's equal when it comes to conversations. Is that what you're saying?
100% spot on. And, just go once, just go to the event once. You might be nervous about it. Just go and see how it goes. And you will be so happy that you went. It might be awkward at first, but the more you go, the more used to it you'll get. And whether it's for business development, whether it's looking for a job, whether it's meeting people who might be able to benefit you in your personal life, you never know what you're going to find at these networking events. I mean, I just continue to have great evenings, fun nights, beneficial nights where we give money back to these great organizations. I mean, I see nothing but benefits to going out to these networking events.
So I just heard that in the commercial real estate arena, you do a lot of acts in the community. You engage with different companies. What's one thing that you really enjoy doing as it relates to networking or community engagement?
Community engagement, like I said, I love seeing young people figure out what they want to do in their careers and in life. I know that I was somebody who was very blessed knowing that I want to do real estate, and I just kind of went for it. But there's a lot of people who turn 21, 22, they're out of college and they don't really know what they want to do. There's people who are 26, 27 and they still don't like what they do and they might need a career pivot. So I like, helping those people find what is it that they're going to be passionate about? Where do they want to be? What's kind of their plan for their career? So there's various groups. I know my partner, May, she's a part of Spark the Journey. That's a great organization. And many others. So Special Olympics DC is another one that I'm excited for. We're going to the Night of Trees on December 6th, and we're just going to be celebrating all the special athletes in the DC area. And it's going to be a great night of donation and meeting other folks who are passionate about the mission and the cause.
So it's not just about what you get, it's also about what you give.
100%. And, for me, I'm looking to get into these different organizations, professional organizations like the Leadership Greater Washington. And I'm learning that these are very service oriented, very community development oriented. It's all about like giving back to the community. And so I'm learning that a lot of executives are really passionate about that. And that's just a great way to meet and connect with people who are just giving back to the community.
So you mentioned a couple minutes ago how you like to engage in the community. I was going to ask you, how do you pay it forward yourself? And it sounds like a lot of that is to your coworkers and to community engagement. What does building with people who build mean to you in your life outside of business? And you just answered that, so we won't ask that question. Brandon, if there was one piece of advice, look into the camera and tell our audience one valuable thing to not forget when they enter into the business world or enter into the commercial real estate world.
Mm-hmm. Align yourself with the people who you want to be with and the people who are going to support you and push your name.
It's a very competitive market, right?
Very competitive. More competitive than I'd say.
How competitive?
A lot of the opportunities that we're looking for, they already have an existing relationship. So we have to compete against them. We have to pitch and convince them that our services are better than the person that they're currently using. That's one example. But, when it comes to doing business development, the market's tight and everybody wants the trophy space, and there's such a limit for it. So, we're competing over sites, we're competing over spaces, and that means you have to move with agility. You have to be quick and you have to be smart about it. So it's always an information game. If you have a piece of information that you can leverage, whether it's getting a piece of business or whether it's moving on a site that your company is interested in, it's all about information and relationships.
So I heard you say pitch. And for those out there that don't understand in sales what a pitch is, explain to them what a pitch is. And then I have a second question after that.
Right. So let's say that we have been asked to come in for a meeting to present our services, and this company is already working with our competitors. I won't name any names, but one of our competitors. So we're going to put in this presentation. We're going to prepare for about 2 weeks. We're going to, script. We're going to learn lines. We're going to practice over and over and over again. And then we're going to present our services based on the company situation and based on how much space they have, when their lease expires, all the information that we know about them. We're going to take that and use that and explain how we provide a better service than our competitors.
So that's an awesome thing to do. And I'm imagining, are your mentors involved in the pitch as well?
Yes. Not only my mentors, but I've been a part of pitches that our company CEO has been a part of, which was actually, I got to speak after our CEO to who will be one of the larger deals in DC. That was a fantastic experience. I mean, but again, it's my senior partners who are pushing me and elevating me into these spaces. Because, while I'm a super hard worker, I'm smart. Relationships and knowing people is everything. And they've just kind of pushed me in these places that where I wouldn't have been able to get to on my own.
When you mentioned presenting with the CEO, were you nervous when you did that?
Yes, I was very nervous. Practicing a few times definitely helped, but then we got into that giant boardroom and there had to be like 40 people there. And so I had to wait for 7 other brokers to speak, do their part. And then I had to get up right up. I had to follow the CEO, go do my part in front of like 30 people. And it was nerve wracking, but I have the confidence in my team. And that's something that I didn't mention. I know that we can take on any assignment because my team has done everything. I mean, Rick and Dimitri, they have done every kind of transaction under the sun. So I know that there's nothing that we can't take on. And I think like that the confidence that they give me, it's shown. It's shown.
So you said that you have goals. Let's just say 5 years from now, what's your top goal?
My top goal is to own a couple properties. I mean, that's kind of been my goal ever since I got into brokerage. I said that I wanted to be a broker so that I could become a landlord. And I want to be a broker while I'm a landlord. And there's a lot of successful people who do this. They own apartments, they own a triple net retail spaces. So I want to be that guy who, has that cash flow coming in and then can do big deals. I want to kind of increase the echelon of companies that I'm working with. And I'm working with great firms right now, but I want to work with, your Fortune 50s. That's where I want to get. So I want to work with those companies that have 60 portfolios or 60 properties in their portfolio around the US. And so we're getting there. I think, I see the trajectory heading in the right place, but it's about getting in there and putting in the work every single day to achieve that. So, super blessed, but the work never stops. That's for sure.
So what do you do for fun? I mean, I hear all this about work, to put in the efforts to work. You have to do pitches. You're competing all the time. You're attending networking events. What does fun look like for you, Brandon?
I mean, I love sports. I was an athlete when I was in high school. I played football, baseball, basketball, pretty much until I was 21. So, I love to watch the sports, and then I love to play golf, and another way to stay connected with, in the business world with CEOs, it's, going out playing golf. And, something, that I've heard had been successful for other people, maybe I'll pick it up. It's just, on that summer day, just go out, play around and play with 4 random people at a very nice club. And who knows, maybe I'll meet my next client, but, it's starting to pick up those hobbies that can translate into the business world. So whether it be like I love that. I love concerts. I love just live music. So, I mean, a couple of things, but like where I'm at right now is just getting out, meeting people and playing golf when I can.
Wonderful. How do they find that board of directors?
I mean, whether it's through your own personal network or whether it's through a group like African American Real Estate Professional Association, I think that's a great place to get started if you're in this arena, because you're going and you're meeting like-minded people who are passionate about real estate. They're in the game, they know it, and there might be job opportunities for you. And even if there's not, they can tell you the right steps to take to get to where you need to be, especially because it's, African American real estate professionals, right? This is, real estate is historically run by white males, dominated by white males. So African Americans in real estate, it's a rather new thing. And we've made such great progress, in the last 2 decades. And I think that's a place where you're going to go that has a lot of wisdom. You're going to meet a lot of people who know how to guide you, to tell you where they need to be. So I think that's where you start. And then you just have to be intentional about it, right? You have to follow up, continue to follow up, make sure that you're getting a quarterly coffee or quarterly lunch with them, because this is all about building a relationship and growing together with a mentor. So it's not just like a one-time thing. You go there, you network, and you talk here and there with them. It's all about intentionality. And that's something that I've learned from my mentors. You have to do everything with intentionality. You're doing it for a reason. And so, when I got into real estate, when I got out here, I did everything for a reason. It's because one day I want to be a landlord that's also doing big deals on the tenant rep side.
So that's really full circle for you, starting in high school, thinking about real estate, getting into commercial real estate, and then wanting to own buildings, wanting to own property. Say that again.
It's all I've ever known.
You're a pretty focused young man, and I applaud you for that. I know you're going to be extremely successful. Let's have some fun, though. Before you engage in a pitch, coffee or green juice?
Can I choose another one?
Yes.
Red juice.
Red juice. Is that beet juice?
Yes. Beet juice is my favorite. So it has like beets, pomegranates, a little bit of spinach. And for sustained energy, like especially for those late night events, networking events, the beets. No coffee, especially before a pitch, no coffee, because your heart's going to be beating too fast.
It'll amp you up. I understand. What is your dream? If you went on a pitch, you're now the senior leadership and you're going on a pitch. Tell me, what is your dream deal?
My dream deal is 400,000 square feet of a Fortune 50 company in New York City, because the rents are the highest, and those are probably some of the most prominent deals that you can do. I will say, like some of these massive law firm deals in Washington, D.C. Are also very, very prominent. I mean, the cumulative value of these deals is mind-blowing. It's absolutely mind-blowing. Over like a 15, 20-year period, tens of millions of dollars being put towards this, and the different complexities of how they build their spaces, and it's a whole nother world that so many people just don't know about. The high quality and the technology and the thought process that goes behind how people work together. It's amazing.
It sure is. Okay. If you had a group chat with your mentors, what would you call it?
The big dogs.
The big dogs.
DAWGZ.
The big dogs. I got you. Okay. Your favorite quote or mantra that keeps you grounded?
Salespeople who don't bother don't feed their children.
Okay. Got it. Everybody's got to eat. Finish this sentence. The best investment I ever made was?
In myself.
One word that defines your future.
Intentional.
Thank you. That's wonderful. I hope everybody out there is hearing what Brandon is saying about being intentional, setting goals for yourself. I love what Brandon said about surrounding yourself with people that build you, not just your business, but also personally. Success is never a solo event. If you've been listening and thinking about needing a personal board of directors, maybe it's time to approach those people and begin assembling yours. Brandon mentioned to you networking events. He mentioned organizations. Take your time to really map out a great place to look for that mentor. This is Courage, Comebacks, and Conversations. Until next time, keep building and make sure you're building with the right people. Thank you, Brandon, for everything.
Oh, thank you, Susan. It was a pleasure to be on, and I hope we can do this at some point again.
We will.
Chasing purpose, redefine time. Vision clear, the future near. Trusting God without fear.